Yes, it's the weekend. It might not be your weekend, but it's our weekend here on The Vibe. And today on the show, we have a superstar. I am talking about Shruti Nair. Take it away, Luke.
Now 6 years old, I broke my leg. I was running from my brother and his friends. Tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart and broke it here, made friends and lost it through the years. I'm not sitting the roaring fields so long. I've gone, I can't wait to go home, and I'm on my way. I still remember these old country lanes, singing to tiny dancers.
It's Wednesday, and today is the day when we at Times TV are a little more relaxed and bring to you some super awesome guests. This is me from the beautiful Shangri-La, and this is my beautiful co-host, Joe Morrison.
Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Like I said, I'm going to be
Ever.
nice to you. I'm going to try and be really nice to you.
It's a lovely breeze as well. However, it creates a problem because it means bad hair day today, doesn't it?
Bad hair day, bad skirt day. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I shouldn't have worn a skirt today.
Yes, I think that
Everything's
skirt
just
needs
flying.
anchored.
Right, so today our first guest is possibly the best child actor Bollywood has ever seen. Unfortunately, he's not a child anymore, but fortunately, he's still doing movies. With me right now is Darsheel Safary. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for calling me here, man.
It's great to have you. Are you having a bad hair day as well, like we are?
Let's not talk about it. I think my parents are going to be very happy that, they've been trying to ask me to get a haircut since very long. And they're going to be like, if you don't get a haircut, this is what's going to happen.
So they're going to show you this afterwards and say, Darsheel, now is the time to get it cut.
Fine.
Like, I'm sure your parents never had that problem with you, did they?
Well,
Well, you don't really need a haircut, do you?
No. I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous because I can't muster the mop that you
You're
have.
happy now.
Yes.
You're happy now.
Yeah.
That's age, that's just age, Darsheel. You'll get there, maybe in the next 40 years. Right, so Darsheel, what brings you to Oman?
I'm doing, I got into theatre 1 year back, and I'm doing this play called Two Adorable Losers. And Satish ji called up the director of our play, Abhishek Patnaik, and he said, why don't you get the play here, and we have this beautiful theatre festival to promote Indian theatre in Muscat. So Abhishek just gave me a call and he's like, Darsheel, we have to be ready. I was like, yes, let's go. I mean,
Yeah. So is
Great.
this your first time in Oman?
yes, this is my first time in Oman, and pretty sure it's not the last time for sure.
Yeah.
What's your first impressions so far?
It's
Just
gorgeous.
look around, just look around.
I'm telling you something. If I didn't have the play, I would be, I'd be here the entire day. Or
Yeah.
probably, 1 or 2 days more. I asked one of the people, that is this place open for tourists, and he said, yeah, just come whenever you want.
You can come here to the
I said,
Shangri-La. I'm
yep.
sure they'll sort you out.
So I'll just figure, once I go back, I'll just figure out a normal weekend and then, just come here and just take it easy.
Well, you're always
Definitely.
welcome. You're always welcome, Darsheel,
Yeah.
and you're welcome to come back. You mentioned theatre there, which is obviously very different to film. We call it, obviously, in England, treading the boards. I don't know if that's the same thing. But when you say, the theatre, is it much harder than film?
Yes, it is harder than film because what happens here is when you're shooting, you have a lot of takes. You have more chances. You can repeat. You can do it again, basically.
Right, okay.
And when you're doing theatre, it's you have one take. It's one shot.
You can't get it
So
wrong.
you can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
Like you have to avoid getting it wrong. And if
Yeah.
you get it wrong, you can't make it that obvious. I'm really new to it. It's just about over a year that I've been into theatre. And
Does it
I've-
make you a better actor, do you think?
Yes, it makes you, it increases your confidence to another level. I'm just gonna stop now thinking about the hair. It's just.
I have the same problem, Darsheel.
I think.
You don't, Joe. You don't have the same problem.
It's okay. I think, trust me, right now I would be in your place. I would be happier. But it's okay. I mean, yeah. So coming back to what you asked, it makes you a better actor because on stage you have to be louder. You have to keep your expressions as loud as you can without it coming across as overacting. You know.
Right.
Right. So Darsheel, I need to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
How many hearts did you break when you got those braces on and your teeth looked like this, unlike how it looked like before? It was adorable. It was his USP, by the way.
I didn't count how many hearts I broke. Just by the way, Joe, for you, I had bunny teeth. My teeth were really out.
What, like Shruti's?
No, but it was out.
They were out.
Ah, right,
right.
So let's not go back there. But that is the time when everyone thought I was really. It suited me a lot. That's what people used to tell me. It was actually, I just break it on to for you all that it was a part because I had adenoids, and you know that's the face that a person gets when he has adenoids. You know?
Right. Okay.
So I had bunny teeth, and I was like, I didn't like them as much as everyone else did, you know. So
Was it because it was a characteristic? Is
yeah,
that why everyone
it was.
liked
Yeah,
it?
I mean, it matched my character as well, and everyone was like, you know, it's nice. Keep this. I was like, relax. You know, if I grow up, it's not gonna like. Imagine me with bunny teeth now. I don't think I would be sitting here, you know, chilling in Shangri-La with y'all.
Yeah.
I'd probably be somewhere.
But here's some background for you though, because I'm not sure if you have seen the movie Tare Zameen Par.
No, I haven't,
So
no.
you were what, 9 years old when
Yes,
you did
I
the
was
movie?
9 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's won numerous awards for the amazing performance he gave in that film.
Wow.
But Darsheel, I would like to know how your life has changed since Tare Zameen Par.
It can't get better than this. I'll tell you something. I just want to thank my parents for supporting me throughout this. You know, it's a difficult career choice. You know, when people say you want to be an actor.
Yeah, I was sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say, you know, parents, and especially in India, they want their son or daughter to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer.
Yeah.
So your parents' support must have been huge, was
Yeah.
it, to go into a career which is not considered necessarily stable? At the
Yeah,
best of
and
times?
I'll tell you one thing. I would want to thank my school principal for that, because what had happened was that my parents were obviously very skeptical about me getting into this.
Understandably so.
Yeah, and my principal, she had said that, you know, I was sitting in that meeting and I was enjoying myself because, you know, my principal was siding with me, and I was like, this doesn't happen, dude. I mean, it's supposed to be the opposite way around, you know. Yeah. My parents are supposed to convince the principal that, okay, you know, we want our son to be an actor.
Yeah.
But the principal was like, you know, all students are not good at studies, or, you know, they're not academically, you know, inclined.
Were you
some
good?
are-
Were you good at studies?
I scored 85.
Which
So-
means you're pretty good.
Shruti's a topper, by the way, a maths topper, apparently.
Okay, let's not talk. Let's not get let's not get the academics here. But yeah, I mean, it was a big hand of my principal to, you know, to convince my parents that, you know, it's okay
Yeah.
to be an actor, to try new things, and if your son likes it or your daughter likes it, you know, you should go ahead.
But how were you discovered for this role?
I was a dancer in Shamak Davar, and there was a
A
random
famous
audition.
Indian choreographer, by the
Yeah,
way.
Okay.
yeah, he's a famous
I'm
Indian
getting an
choreographer.
education
Yeah.
here today.
Yeah. I think
Welcome to
you should just go and, you know, you should just go online and check these people out, you know.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you should go and dance.
Oh, you'll start liking it, you know. It's a
Right.
very fun way of so yeah, I mean, we had the auditions happening, and they had the age limit of 12 years old, and when I had gone through it, I still very clearly remember I had gone through and I was 9, and I was like, dude, I'm just 3 years, you know, there's no harm in checking me out. But obviously I wasn't approached. There was this the writer of the film was Amol Gupte, and he and I, we became friends. He just came and he's like, you know, I want to call you Ustad, and we just became friends. He used to come and see me perform, and we used to talk. I didn't know he was associated to the film.
Right.
So he just came, and then at home, suddenly my mother's like, you know, Darsheel, there's a little bit of a surprise package. There's a surprise for you. And I was like, okay, what is this? They're like, it's on Wednesday. And I asked Amol instantly, and he's like, you're coming for the film audition, right? And I was like, okay, there's a film audition happening.
So you didn't know it was an audition at that
Yeah,
time?
I didn't know anything. I just thought that, you know, I've been selected for the film, and because I was 9, I was too small and too stupid to know that there's an audition process that goes on. So as soon as the audition got over, I started telling everyone, you know, I'm doing a film, guys. And everyone was like, just shut up, sit down. That's what it
But do
was.
you think that was a good thing? Because then you didn't have that fear of knowing the process and knowing what was
Yes.
going on. Maybe you were just more relaxed because
God,
of that.
how much I wish, you know, I can go back to those days, because life was easier.
I wish I could go back to those days.
Yeah, man, life was easier. Life was so much fun and so stress free, you know.
That coming from a 20-year-old, well, that just makes me feel old.
Yeah, I mean, no, that was not the motive. That was not the motive, but yeah, I mean, that was a really chilled out time, and I mean, this is one of those memories that I remember very, very clearly.
But
It's-
you play the role of a dyslexic child.
Yeah.
But did you know what dyslexia was when you were 9 years old?
and no one did.
Yeah.
No one knew what
Which
dyslexia
is true, yeah,
was.
yeah.
And you know, there was a fine line between, and you know, what our mentality goes through is that dyslexia, oh, you know, it must be some mental problem and all. So the movie simplified what dyslexia is. And you know, it is a very much a normal, very common thing, you know, that people misunderstand. The parents especially misunderstand dyslexia to be, you know, the kids just misbehaving. You know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually much more, it's a little more serious than that.
Yeah.
And you know, there are so many friends of mine. So we got dyslexia quota in India, in Mumbai, you know,
Right.
as a part of college university. So,
Because
so
of
they
the
get
movie.
allowances, yeah, because
Yeah.
of the movie.
Yeah.
So when
So
my
you
friends
highlighted
say,
that. You
yeah,
brought
so
that
when
to
my friends say that you know, I'm getting dyslexia quota, I'm going to get half an hour more to write this paper. I'm like, dude, it's because of me you're getting it, you know. This is where it started, you know. I'm supposed to get dyslexia quota as well.
Thank me, guys. Thank me.
And they're like, yeah, okay, fine, you know.
Because you were talking about obviously education and the schools, etc., etc. Did you when you're on set, do you do schooling on set? How does it work? I don't understand. Do you go to school and then come back to the set, or how?
So my dream was to not go to school and be on the set.
Oh,
That
my
was why
dream
you
is not
took
to
the
go to
movie
school.
up.
So that was one of the biggest reasons. Now I thought I was already doing the film, but when I actually got selected, when I was explained the fact that, you know, Darsheel, these were auditions, you were not selected yet, and now you're selected. So I was like, no school, guys, sorted life, you know. But then my principal, like I'm telling you, you know, she made sure I had a tuition teacher on set, and
So you assigned a tutor.
Yep. And
And you
she
had to
was-
study.
And I did study on set quite a lot, more than I like to.
It must have been long days, was it?
Yeah.
Filming and studying and filming and
Actually,
studying.
my tuition teacher was fantastic. She was our headmistress, our ex-headmistress, and she was like, you know what, Darsheel, we're gonna we're gonna decide that we're gonna do 10 pages in a day, and then you're free. You can do what you want. Even I want to see what's happening on set.
Yeah.
So I said, fantastic, you know, let's do that. And that way, I didn't miss out on my exams. So I used to get an allowance. You know, you can write your exam, and you can come back, you know, on set. So I
Right.
wrote my exams. I studied for that on set, and that's
Which
how
grade were you in at that time?
I was in the 4th standard, not
Fourth grade. Ah.
not a very difficult time.
Yeah.
But as it progressed, you know, as I got in the 8th, 9th, and the 10th, like I was in a dance reality show in the 10th standard, and you know, I missed like a good 4.5 months of school.
Right.
So I had a tutor on set as well, and you know, we had to.
Yeah, the tutors just follow you everywhere, don't
I
they?
had no excuse to miss 4.5 months of school, unfortunately. It's been absolutely great to have you. It really has. You've got a movie coming out soon, is that right?
Yes, there's a movie. It's called Quickie.
Quickie?
Quickie.
Okay. When's it released?
It's we're shooting soon. It's coming out early next year.
Early
it's,
January, early 2018.
Yeah, early 2018, not in the January frame.
Not in January.
A little later.
Right.
I'll just give you a little gist on it. It's more on the teenage. So my first film was more on the student life, you know, the kids,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
school life.
Yeah.
This is more on the college life, you know,
Right,
and
okay.
college life is very different. It's very, very different than school life. You know, you get your freedom. You get into relationships for some reason. You know, you get into
For some reason. Okay.
there are career choices that you take. You know, you go for clubbing and you get into discos and you know
Yeah.
all that kind of a life. That entire life is showcased in this film. So it's gonna take. So how the first film took you back to your school days is gonna take you back to your college days. You know,
Right.
and it's beautifully shown. It's not. There's nothing that is too cliche or something. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very nicely, very apt.
Right.
Yeah.
So really
And-
excited to do
And
that.
obviously you're here in Muscat as well. Just tell us where and when you're performing again.
We're performing today at 8 o'clock at the Indian Embassy.
Okay.
And,
Indian Embassy, 8 o'clock.
What is your
Yep.
performance going to be about?
It's a teacher-student relationship. If it rings any bell. It's.
I didn't have
I've-
very good teacher-student relations.
You should come and check it out. You're gonna have a lot of fun because this is where I'm weak at maths, statistics, which I connect to. You know.
The topper, the maths
no,
topper,
I-
allegedly.
I know, look at how he's looking at me.
Allegedly.
He keeps looking at me.
I just
Allegedly
wanna-
the maths
He's
topper.
accusing me of topping in
no,
school.
no problem. No, it's great. Congratulations. And there's this tuition teacher of mine who's obviously a statistics professor, and he's in Oria, you know, in Orissa. From India, and they have a very peculiar way. They have a different accent, you know. They're
Right.
born in a different, I mean, in a different background, you know. They brought up in a different, so they have their English. They have a different accent. So, and he has a speech to give. So, and because my English is good, and his statistics is good, we help each other.
Ah,
And
right, okay,
We
right.
form a bond, and I don't want to spoil a lot, but this is
Don't
one
tell
of
us
those.
ending yet.
Yeah.
This is the one of those plays which is like a laugh a minute. Kind of a scenario, and it is not the farcical, not the stand-up comedies thing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a very
Subtle.
very subtle and very innocent kind of a thing,
Yeah.
and which I love the most about it. Like, you know, performing the play is more difficult because you know it's so funny that I laugh on stage. If you all are getting to see it, you all will
Yeah.
see where I laugh on stage as well.
8 p.m.
So,
today, yeah?
8 o'clock.
8
today,
o'clock
yes.
tonight.
All right, 8
Thank you very
o'clock.
much
We'll be
for
there.
coming, and sorry about the hair.
I think it's the wind gods, you know, they're supposed to. Okay, Mom, I'm getting a haircut.
Yes, get that haircut. Don't go away, we've got plenty more to come here on The Vibe this Wednesday.
Hello, Chef Luigi.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Very good.
So you work at the Shangri-La?
Yes.
Which
yes.
restaurant?
In Capricorn restaurant.
Capricorn. It's an Italian restaurant.
Yes.
And I'm assuming you're from Italy as well?
Yes. I'm from Italy.
Great,
Yes.
great. So we are going to learn how to make truffles today, is it?
Yes, right.
Right, so
yes.
teach
We have
me,
the
go
Italian
ahead.
week, and today I'll do risotto with Parmigiano Reggiano and
Par-
Alba
Parmigiano
white
Reggiano.
truffle. Yes, Parmigiano Reggiano from Emilia
Parmigiano.
Romagna.
All right, all right.
Yes. Okay, I will start with the risotto.
That's a risotto?
Yes.
From Italy, of course.
Yeah, yes, of
Yes.
course, yes.
So how much risotto do
Yes.
you need?
I need for
3
one
spoons?
portion, yes, three spoons,
Should be
around
fine, for one person.
100 grams. Yes.
Okay, 100 grams.
Okay.
All right.
Next step, Parmigiano Reggiano cheese.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yes.
Wow, I like how you say it. Bravo.
Oil extra virgin.
Okay, extra virgin oil. That's half a
Yes.
teaspoon.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
And white truffle
protagonist.
of Alba. This is gold.
White golden truffle of Alba. So how
Yes.
much does that cost, the whole bowl?
This is around 300 grams. It's costing 1,000 Oman Riyal.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yes,
I don't
okay.
think I need to do anything more. I'm going. All right, come.
Okay.
So this is 1,000 riyals.
Yes.
1,300 riyals.
It's
Why
very
is it so expensive? Why?
Because it's very rare.
Is it?
Yes, yes.
So you got this from Italy?
It's from Italy,
Where in
from
Italy?
Alba.
Alba.
Alba is a small town in Piemonte region, North Italy.
North Italy.
Yes.
All right. So what do we do with the truffles?
Yes, this we shave on the top the risotto. This is a smell is very
I can
fantastic.
smell
It's
it, yes,
very
of course.
strong. Yes.
Wow.
And the last step is microgreen.
We're at the last step already?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
And it's almost
it's ready for to eat.
the golden
Yeah.
truffles.
Yes, welcome back. And by the way, that's the first food bit we've ever done in any show where we haven't been allowed to taste it. They're that expensive, those truffles. We did enjoy it. Here on The Vibe today, we have, as our second guest, Fatima, who, having read your biography, Fatima, it said brand influencer. Now, I want to know what a brand influencer is.
Okay, so basically a brand influencer, they do have...
Do you influence the customers or do you influence the brands themselves? How does it work? Which way round does it go?
It actually works both ways. So when you start posting on your Instagram account, first of all, you talk about the brands that you are familiar with. And even though when different brands will start approaching you, I mean, you have to make sure that it's something that you can relate to. So for
Right.
example, I cannot really talk about fitness because I'm not really a person who works out a lot, but
Right.
I can give it a shot, but I will not talk about something or promote a brand for
That you don't believe in,
yes,
basically.
and something that I haven't experienced. it.
And like
Because-
you say, doesn't relate to you. Yeah.
Yes, because people are following your content, they're looking what's happening in town and all, but they believe what you're saying.
Do you think that social media integrity is really, really important? Is that the main USP of any kind of influencer?
It is very important, but at the same time, what's happening these days, as people are gaining more and more towards the social media fame, and they want to get out there, people to follow them and all, they even end up towards the point of, like buying in fake followers, etc. and all.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what's happening at the moment. Or they're talking about a brand that they are not well aware of, but as long as they're getting the payment for it, they're talking about it.
So you couldn't promote. Sorry, Tree, you couldn't promote men's shoes. In other words, could you?
No, but if I...
Have you promoted men's shoes?
No, I haven't. In my page, I always talk about, since I'm already in the field of events and entertainment, so my page is more about, you get to know what's happening in Oman, what is the latest event, what is the latest campaign, activations. That's what
Right.
I talk about in my page. And at the same time, I'm a foodie. I love eating food. I love trying out
Oh
new
yeah,
food.
I love eating food too. I didn't get to eat those truffles though. Too expensive, extremely expensive. Right, so Fatima, what do you call yourself? Do you call yourself a social media influencer? Do you call yourself an entrepreneur? Because I know you have your own company as well.
Yes.
So out of all the roles that you do, what do you call yourself?
If you had to pick one.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, first of all, I wouldn't call myself as an influencer. That is not for me to declare that I am. It's for people to know if they feel that I am an
Right.
influencer, if I influence them.
But have
So-
people told you that you influence them in buying something or doing something?
So basically, in different terms, like for example, people usually follow my page and they tell me that we follow your page because we get to know the events happening in Oman, or if they want to shop for the latest outfit, because in every event that I go to, I usually support local designers and I wear in their outfit and I talk about it. So they get to know about, the latest outfit they can buy from, who is the latest designer. So they usually shop through my page.
oh,
Is-
that's
is-
a nice
is
to me.
it-
I have to do that.
Is
Yes.
this a-
Boutique mustard.
Yes,
you do that for me,
come on then,
please?
girls. Come on, girls. Get it out. What are you wearing? What's this? What designer is this?
No, today it's not.
Oh, it's
because-
not a local designer today.
No, because I was in a hurry getting ready and
Oh,
I didn't get my
Fahmi.
chance. But usually I talk in with different local designers to collaborate with them and to give them a brand exposure.
All right,
Right,
okay.
right.
And you, Boutique Muscat. as
Boutique
you-
Muscat, thank you, Hazar, for this lovely dress. I don't
It is
have nice
beautiful
clothes at
indeed.
all. Like if you open my wardrobe, you'll
True.
find like horrible looking
True.
clothes.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Boutique Muscat, for this.
So coming back to obviously, it's based on social media platforms, isn't it? And the question I've always wanted to ask someone who is a social media influencer is, do you have to be good at taking photos for Instagram and for Twitter and all these kind of things? Do you have to know your way around a mobile phone, how to take a quality picture, all of that kind of stuff?
Okay, I feel the most important thing is, yes, a good photo always works out well. I mean, a good content.
So that's
but
me out then.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
it's fine. I'll help you out with that.
I need to practice.
But you're
my,
good with selfies though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I've
terrible
seen
at
it.
selfies.
But I feel whenever you are talking about a brand, always try to think about the content that you can create with it. Instead of doing the usual way, just posting their logo or just having...
That's a bit bland. Yeah.
Yes. So
Right.
something very creatively and something, especially when you did try out the brand, you've experienced it, you can think of more ways on how you can take pictures along with the brand.
So what is your unique style?
Okay, my unique style, usually when I do for events, so I talk about like, I remember one of the events that I've been to, they had different, it was a paint product and they had like different paints station. So I chose which one I liked and I stood next to it and I took a picture and talked about it on my social media saying that if you guys are going through your paint section, but if you like my kind of colors, So this is what I've picked,
So it's
and you
more
might like it
personal.
too. Yes.
Right, and
What
it's
was
honest.
the colour, by the way?
It was more beigeish, brown,
Oh, I like
and more
brown.
of those kind
Yeah.
of colors.
Autumn.
Yes, more of autumn colors.
Yeah, I like
and that's
that,
what
yeah.
my new office color is all about.
Right, so
Yeah.
Fatima, there are so many of these social media celebrities and influencers and brand influencers. So how is it that you manage to stand out amongst the crowd and it keeps
Good point,
growing?
yeah.
Yes, I think when it comes to me, I try not to follow someone else. Of course, I'm very inspired by a lot of social media enthusiasts out there, but I want to create my own style and my own taste. So my own style and taste is talking about events. And I try to stick on the same topic. For example, I'm not a person who can give you a makeup tutorial. So I'm not going to start talking about makeup on my page just because I want people to start giving me makeup products
Yeah.
for free. I'm out of it.
I can't do that either.
Yes, so I will only talk about stuff that I know I can relate to people.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason that people actually do follow me, from corporate to people who wants to do something during the weekends, and also that's why
Right.
I mean I kept it consistent in my account.
But I need to ask you, because you're a social media person, do you have a personal life at all?
I do have a personal life, definitely.
Yeah,
But
how much of your time does it take?
but
Because even if you just write and post one tweet, it can take, or one Instagram, it can take, let's say, a couple of minutes. But if you're doing a lot of this and taking the photos and attending the events,
yeah.
I'm actually
how
quite
time consuming is it?
Okay, I'm actually quite happy that we have the live Insta story or the Snapchat, because that's something you can take in instantly.
Right.
And when it comes to the static posts that you post on Instagram, that takes time, because for me, I don't like just posting any random pictures.
Right.
I like creating my content, and I like creating a theme for my event, for my Instagram page. But at the same time, I also have a social media agent, a social media company that handles my account.
Accounts, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yes, I mean I personally post everything that you see on my page, but for example, if anyone wants to collaborate with me, they handle my collaboration, and it makes my life easier because they tell me exactly what I have to do.
So you go through all the insights and everything.
Yeah, so they tell me, for example, if I
Yeah.
have to attend an event and do a coverage, so don't forget, this is what's going to happen during the event. You have to talk this amount of,
Yeah.
don't forget to cover this point, this picture, that picture. And I mean, if you have a timetable,
They can organize the message.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very easy for me. All I have to do is just post, because I know exactly what I wanted to put my message out there.
Right. So Fatima, you were also one of the first or the youngest business women in Oman, weren't you?
Yes.
So how did that start, though?
Actually, by November 24, this Friday, I will be marking my 4th year in business.
4th year, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
So I started off my business at the age of 21.
But didn't you start off as a teenager?
I did.
Yeah.
I did start off when I was 17, 18. That was my very first business.
Yeah.
So that was my business because I was an artist. Then why not turn my talent into a business?
And your parents were okay with it?
Not really my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to hide. But
Like really
Because we were
high?
hearing from Darsheel earlier on, and
Yes.
obviously, being a child actor and not
Yes.
becoming a lawyer or a doctor or
Yes.
whatever. I mean, was it the same for you? Were they quite encouraging?
it's just because my dad had the mentality of I had to finish my studies.
Right.
And then after it, I need to find a job and then start working.
yeah.
But my mentality lies in, as long as I have the talent. Of course, I strongly believe in education. But because of my dad's accident that happened during the time when I was about to go to college, that did give me a different turn to life. Because they say either you let the situation break you or make you.
Yeah.
true,
So at
yeah.
that moment, I decided, let me make the best out of this situation. I
Right.
use my talent, turn it into a business, and from there on, I kept discovering new steps in life that led me towards my
And that's
a
what you are
proper
today.
accomplished
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
which is the model and talents
Right, so-
agency.
Great to have you.
I just have this one last question
okay.
because I need to ask you. If you had to pick your favorite social media influencer in Oman, who would that be?
In Oman. Okay, it depends on the category because I follow different people in different category. But honestly speaking, if it's about events, I love the event coverage of @Fahmi Wami.
Oh, at
Honestly,
Fahmi
all
Hamayon.
here, but
Guess who's
I
on soon?
cannot miss
There's good
this.
news for you.
Guess-
There's
I
good
cannot
news for
miss the
you.
social
Guess who's on the
media
show
coverage.
soon? Thank you for joining us.
No
and
worries.
I must say that you're the one who has mastered the hair in these breezy, beautiful breezy conditions here at the Shangri-La in Muscat. We're struggling. Darsheel
Struggling.
earlier was struggling. And, you know.
Well, thanks to your team for helping me out last minute.
Okay.
Right, thank you. Thank you so much, Fatima.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
having
joining
me.
us. It was great talking to you.
You too.
Don't go far.
We're back with Fatima's favorite social media influencer who is with us right now on our set, Fahmi in the house.
Did you hear that? Were you watching off air?
She told me when I was going on, so I was really shocked. when I heard about it.
So your favourite brand influencer now has to be Fatima,
Has to
yes?
be.
No
Fatima.
respect, 100%, yes.
Great to have you back, by the way, Fahmi. And we need to tell the viewers a little story because you've been on before,
Yes.
but you've never been seen, have you? Go on, you tell the story. You tell the story.
They called me up for a pilot. I'm glad the pilot made the rest of the show a success. So
Right,
I
it
was a
happened
part of
because
it.
of the pilot,
So I'm
yes.
glad,
Pilot.
I'm glad of that.
Fahmi
yes.
was, in fact, I think you were our very first, obviously it was unofficial because it was a pilot.
Yes,
and I think you
unofficial
were our
pilot.
very first guest, weren't you?
Yes, proud of that. And I hope you put a little thing on the newspaper and make me famous for that. And I become your favorite brand.
Yeah, that should be on your name strap. Very first guest of the Vibe. But yes, anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
So
What's
we've
happening?
obviously had this conversation before, but
Yeah.
for the viewers who don't know, you don a lot of hats. You
Yes.
wear too many hats. So yeah, what are the
True.
different hats that you wear?
MC, event organizer, communicator, CrossFitter, athlete, radio host, Snapchat artist,
Whoa.
Bring
Keep
it
Again,
on.
going. Keep going.
and a person you can call for interviews anytime except when he's hungry.
Fahmi's starving, by the way.
I'm starving.
And you're the only person today who's not having problems with the hair.
No.
Yeah.
Except I asked the makeup artist to make sure she can thicken my eyebrows. It's like thicker than that.
So tell us, out of all those things that you've just mentioned,
Yeah.
what's coming through at the moment? What are you busy with the most? at the
Radio
moment?
hosting. It's
Right,
taking
okay.
almost all my time. That's why I'm coming over here right now. I've like spoken my lungs out. And-
Really?
Yeah.
So you were on air before this?
I was
before
on
you
the
go-
air before this, yeah, and all the moisture from my lungs is gone. So I was hoping to eat and drink before coming on. So we're here right now, and that's why
Right,
I'm
but
like
I'm
this.
surprised you didn't mention Insta8 there because that's probably one of your brands, right? Something that you're really proud of, your
Waiting
baby.
for you.
Right.
Yes.
So tell us about Insta8.
Okay, what I'm really proud of about Insta8?
All right,
Right.
we're gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that, yeah.
Is that it's the first of its kind in the world. I've invented something globally unique, and I'm hoping Mark Zuckerberg, as I said last time, would buy it off me because it's a way for people to not fear Instagram and actually get on it. It's also another way of people projecting themselves using the Instagram. It's also another public speaking platform that is not heavy, that lets people speak about their own experience.
So give me a simplistic explanation of what it is for someone who wouldn't know what Insta8 is.
Okay, so it's Toastmasters with a screen behind you. It's TED Talks using social media.
Right.
It's public speaking merged with social media.
Right, okay.
So it's 8 moments in 8 minutes by 8 motivators.
But why Instagram? Why did you choose that as a platform?
Okay.
Could you have used others? Could you have used Twitter?
I'll
or-
explain what made me lead to that. So as I was thinking on what to do, the problem was TED is very heavy for people to speak over here, right? So I said, let me create a platform that actually makes it easy for people to speak. And what's the easiest thing that people have rather than us preparing them so that they prepare their own presentation will be their Instagram. The Instagram is their own presentation. So that's why I picked Instagram.
Yeah, but because
It doesn't work with
Instagram-
Facebook, it doesn't work with Twitter, it doesn't work with Snapchat.
Oh, why though? Because try to help me understand. Because Instagram has only 1-minute videos, so you don't have the entire talk going on Instagram, do you?
No. So it's 8 moments. 8 moments are a video and a photo.
Okay.
So most of the people will prefer to use their photos to talk about it. So you can go and talk about the photo I took of you at the pilot.
Okay.
And you use it as one of your 8 moments and go and say, one of my career moves was doing the vibe, and I did it with this gentleman who did this photo of me, and I really love this photo, for example, and try and last a minute with it.
Right.
Dropping the content, maybe about the show, maybe about yourself, maybe about the photographer.
Okay.
Do you think that the success of it comes because it's so bite-sized?
I like it.
Everyone wants
You know,
short form now, don't
I
they?
like that he says success. And yes, the world is moving towards less
Less is more.
attention span.
Yeah.
You know, so in here,
Sorry, what were you saying, Fahmi?
he's on fire. Okay, basically Snapchat, everybody goes around, skips after second.
Yeah,
second.
true.
So the attention span is now under a second,
Yeah.
right? So in public speaking, I managed to grab people's attention in a minute. If they're bored of the speaker, they just have to wait for the next minute. If they're bored of the whole speaker completely, they just have to wait 8 minutes.
Right.
But now it's up to the speaker to make sure that they're interesting in 1 minute, and it's now easy on both sides.
But who has been your favorite speaker out of all
Dr.
the?
Amr Rawas.
What?
Dr. Amr Rawas.
What?
Dr. Amr Rawas.
Dr.
Why?
Amr Al Rawas. Why?
Not Rawas, Rawas.
Al Rawas.
First of all, it was very easy to speak to him about it.
Uh-huh.
He was not conceited, he was not snobbish. It was straight away, come, let's sit, let's talk. I love, within half an hour of me explaining him the project, I love it, I'm in.
Yeah.
So there, right?
Very simple.
Yeah.
That was and that was 70 weeks before I even did my Insta
Okay.
because I had to get other speakers
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
like that. Others were giving me reservations and I had to go back to them. Now, as we come to the event, instead of me making sure that he's okay with it, he comes ready. He gets what I want, and boom, he presents, and he accepted everything about the thing. And even after the event, he assisted me dropping my chief guest to the airport.
Oh, really?
It was I respect, hats off, Dr. Amr. Humility sends you very far away.
We,
Right.
we were speaking to Fatima before,
Who?
and
My attention span.
and the question I had for her, which is a very similar question for yourself, is how good do you have to be with all of these tools? When you came up here and we were about to go live, we saw you taking photos and snaps and video clips and all the rest of it. You're very good at this. How good do you have to be to work these platforms?
Okay, now that is an experience thing. I would say there's two kind of people in here. So if you're really good and you can manage to organize yourself, great. I, on the other hand, make it part of my life.
Right.
So it's a normal thing that I do in my life. So therefore,
Right.
it's not a headache. I don't have to think about it. It's natural moves.
But
Well,
how
that's-
long have you been doing this for?
Social media?
Yeah.
Recently, maybe 3 years.
So what were you doing
I was
before
even scared
that?
about it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then I said,
Why?
I'm not.
Why were you scared?
Because it wasn't me. I couldn't find how I was.
You see, we may not look it, but we're a very similar age. Fahmi looks way much younger than I am. But we are.
Can
a
I
very,
say this? Black don't crack, baby.
we are a very similar age,
Yeah.
and that is exactly me. I'm not scared of the platforms. It's just I'm not.
Tech phobia.
Yeah.
That's what I call it in my case.
just not
Let's put it this way. Now I got into radio hosting, right? I could not feel comfortable doing any of my shows until I found how I can put my signature on the mic and talk. Otherwise, I cannot be another persona.
Right.
I'm not somebody who can just make up and be an actor. I have to be me and find that path to express what I am to the
Yeah.
But is that what you're doing with your Snapchat stories?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else in Oman does that, right? With the drawings and
Oh,
the
the drawings and the
illustrations.
emojis, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm one of the 5 rare people in the world.
Yeah.
just 5.
Yeah. Okay, 10.
Maybe the most rare person in Oman.
Oman,
Yeah.
for sure, unique.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. That's what I'll say about that. But you don't follow me on Snapchat anyway, so.
I think I do.
I don't have Snapchat. Snapchat, is that? What is that? What is Snapchat?
You see,
Is that
exactly.
a social media
That's
platform?
what people were with Instagram after Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to be like that with Snapchat after Instagram. And then you're
Right.
going to be with that something else after Snapchat.
It's a
You
strange
just
one,
move
isn't
on.
it? Because there was a demise in Twitter, and then Twitter has taken a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows, don't you think?
Yes, because the founders are very clever in actually reinventing the
Yeah.
platform for people to actually reuse it.
Keeping
again.
it relevant
Yeah,
to.
if it's going to be consistently the same, people will be bored of it, and you want to move on to the next thing. So they have to reinvent the
Right,
wheel
so
again,
what are
again,
your
again.
followers like?
What does that mean?
Yeah, who are your followers?
I like my followers, people my age and little bit lower. I have a few kids.
Everyone's
under,
lower than my age.
Yeah, everyone's 66.
all my followers are younger than me.
I have young kids under 12, but I like that my followers mostly are females.
Yeah, all right. I'm sure you like it that way.
I do! I'm a single man, so it's good. Yeah.
Most of my followers are male.
Okay, you
They're
have a lot of explanation to
extreme
do.
opposite.
It's football. It's a football thing, all right. Just in case you're wondering.
Right, so do you call your followers consumers or customers? Do you promote brands
Are they
or?
partners? Are they friends? What are they? How?
I don't call
It's a
them
good question,
anything.
actually.
In fact, yes, it is, and you got me completely baffled how to answer that without insulting anybody. I don't really think
Because
of them.
you do engage with them. You
Yeah, I
answer
do
their
engage with them
questions and
100%.
reply
You know
to
what?
them and all that.
Family.
The
Family.
family.
Snap fam,
Aw.
Family's
Insta
family.
fam, whatever it is, the fam.
Family's family.
Fam.
Fam.
What's next for you?
What's next
Before
for
we
me?
go?
Radio
Obviously, you've got
hosting.
the radio.
Yeah, and then hopefully, I can't really talk about this, but I'm doing something really big around
Oh, a
lunchtime.
secret. Come on.
Oh.
And yeah,
Secret.
but I can talk about this next thing. Insta8 is a platform that can be malleable into any direction that we want. The Gulf is breaking down for no reason, and I don't like what's happening right now, so I thought I'll do something where it brings all the Gulf together. So I want to do an Insta8 One Gulf, bringing all social media personalities
wow.
together and saying we're one. Let's
Yeah.
keep it
And
that
that's
way.
going to happen in Oman?
Good idea.
Yes, we're the peaceful
Brilliant.
country.
Good idea.
Brilliant.
Good
And
idea.
salute to HM.
Thank you very much, Fahmi. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Fahmi.
Thank you very much to you too, Shruti Neff. From
You need food, yes, we need to give him food.
Fahmi was actually due to speak to us for about another 20 minutes. However, we've had to cut it short so you can go get somebody. I'm joking. Thank you very much to the Shangri-La on what is a wonderful windy day here.
Super breezy.
Affected me quite badly, affected Shruti quite
Very badly,
And
but
nothing.
Fatima
Fahmi.
quite badly.
Not a single thing on me.
Affected Darsheel quite badly, but definitely not affecting.
Bold is the
Fahmi,
way to
that's
go,
for sure.
people.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us as well here on The Vibe. Until next week, enjoy.
She's a good girl. Loves her mama, loves Jesus, and her boyfriend too. She's a good girl. She's crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too. And they're all free. I'm free falling. Yes, I'm free.